Good evening, I'm Madison Carmouche. This afternoon, we spoke to one of many domestic violence shelters across the Commonwealth that hosted the annual Shop and Share event, collecting donations. WYMT's RJ Johnson joined one shelter in the Big Sandy in its efforts to help victims.
Turning Point Domestic Violence Services offers victims of domestic violence in the Big Sandy shelter. Organization leaders made their way to the Prestonsburg Food City to collect donations for the shelter.
Because while victims are in shelter and their families, we provide food for them, 3 meals a day. So they get all those needs met while they're in shelter. And then this food drive helps relieve some of our budget, so we're able to offer additional services when we're able to save money by the foods donated in the community.
Assistant Director Elizabeth Fitch says the shelter is able to spread its message by being visible in the community.
So that we can get the word out that there is a shelter, there is a place for victims of domestic violence to go that's right here in the Big Sandy region.
John Rosenberg says he wanted to volunteer because it's an important cause for him to help support.
We learned years ago how important it was for victims of domestic violence to have a place, a shelter to go to. For many years we didn't have anything, and this is very important, and my wife Jean is here, so we're just thought we'd be able to help out a little bit today and have them collect food and some money, which they badly need. It's a very nice facility in Martin, and we're very proud of it.
Fitch says support like that is what allows them to continue their work in the community.
And the support of the community is what it takes for people to survive and thrive. And it means so much to the advocates at the shelter and the clients that we serve, knowing that the community supports the work we're doing and supports them as they're trying to heal.
In Prestonsburg, RJ Johnson, WYMT Mountain News.
The drive was created in 2008 by former First Lady Jane Bashir. Community members in Pikeville got the chance to get into the season of love by showing love to local businesses. As a part of Pikevilles Love Your Downtown, local businesses are offering unique specials. Folks also got to enjoy some love-filled libations to get in the spirit of the month. Executive Director of Community Relations for the City of Pikeville, Jill Dotson, says it is a way to bring love to the heart of the city.
So February is the month of love, obviously, and we want to do everything we can to celebrate our downtown and our businesses, our small businesses that are in our Pikeville community, not only in Pikeville, but of course across the state of Kentucky.
Along with exploring special deals, community members also got to enjoy carriage rides.
Not much to love about the weather we've had today. It's been flat, soggy across the bluegrass, and as we go into the evening, we're going to continue to see more rain roll across the mountains. Here's a look at what's going on right now out at the London Corbin Airport. It's pretty soggy out there, and the same story over at Pikeville, US 23 119 intersection, 56 degrees and rain ongoing. Some heavy rain in a few portions of the area, especially over near Boonville. You can see a pretty heavy shower there right along 30 heading up towards Jackson. That's going to continue to lift off to the east and northeast. Also some decent rain around Manchester and Burning Springs, back towards London, over towards Laurel Lake, Keavy, back into Somerset. And these showers are going to continue to lift off to the east and the northeast over the next several hours. We go to the bigger picture and watch the radar loop. And you can see, especially down along the Tennessee and Virginia border, it's just been flat wet today. Temperatures, though, mild. We're into the mid to upper 50s across most of the area right now. 50, the local cool spot down at Wise. And we're eventually going to take it down into the upper 40s and eventually the mid 40s tonight as those showers continue. However, all is not lost as far as the weekend goes. I think we're going to salvage a decent day tomorrow of weather after some morning rain. But it's not going to stay dry for long. Wet weather leads to wintry weather. We'll talk about that here in a few minutes, Madison.
All right, Shane, thank you. The search continues for Kenneth Dehart in Blount County, Tennessee. Law enforcement say Dehart shot 2 deputies. killing Deputy Greg McCowan and hurting Deputy Shelby Eggers. Eggers is at home recovering after being hit in the leg multiple times. Deputies initially pulled DeHart over for erratic driving in the wrong lane. They say he did not cooperate and he eventually fired shots. Community members in the county hosted a memorial in McCowan's honor earlier today.
Their families share them with us every day. They work rain or shine, day or night, holidays, and they don't question a bit. They sign the same papers I did in the Air Force. They do what needs to be done.
It's not just community members sharing their condolences. Governor Bill Lee, in a statement, said he and his wife are heartbroken over the death of Deputy McCowan. Lee says McCowan laid down his life in the line of duty while answering the high call to serve and protect Tennesseans. A Kentucky man has been convicted in federal court for his role in the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol. 34-year-old Stephen Chase Randolph is accused of helping knock a police officer unconscious during the attacks. The U.S. Department of Justice says he was convicted on 2 felony charges related to that assault and another felony charge of civil disorder. He was also convicted on a misdemeanor charge of committing an act of violence on Capitol grounds. A man is facing charges after an undercover internet crimes against children investigation. Kentucky State Police started the investigation after getting a tip that Carl Hayes was receiving inappropriate images of children through his social media. Friday, they executed a search warrant on his home in Ashland and seized the equipment they say he used and arrested him. A bill that would keep Kentucky classrooms safer is moving forward in Frankfort. It would make it more difficult for teachers with claims of sexual misconduct to get a job in the Commonwealth. The bill would force teacher applicants to disclose whether they were the subject of any allegations or investigation within the past year. Districts would also be prevented from entering into non-disclosure agreements related to teacher misconduct. The bill is moving to the Senate after gaining approval in the House. Governor Andy Beshear is pouring millions of dollars into helping mothers fight addiction. The $6 million grant will go to 17 nonprofits across the state. One of those charities is the Volunteers of America Freedom House in Louisville. Betty Asher is one of many mothers whose lives have changed. Asher was pregnant and addicted to drugs. She had the choice of giving birth in jail and giving up her son to the system, or entering recovery and raising him. Volunteers of America helped her achieve the latter.
I'm here. I have my baby with me today. Because if not, God knows where he would be at today. If I got this little baby I got to worry about. He's worth everything.
If you or someone you know is in need of recovery housing, you can visit the website in this story on WYMT.com. The Henry Clay Estate is hosting events this month as well as showcasing a special exhibit in honor of Black History Month. Alexa Minton stopped by the estate to get a preview of the plans.
Ashland is a place with rich history, and this month they are putting together events, tours, and even an exhibit for folks to celebrate Black History Month in Lexington. Jim Clark, the executive director of the Henry Clay Estate, says it's important that folks look at the site and acknowledge its complex history.
One of the fundamental reasons why we're doing this is Black history is American history.
Later this month on February 17th, they are hosting an African American genealogy workshop. The Henry Clay Memorial Foundation will partner with multiple organizations, including the African American Genealogy Group of Kentucky, to encourage folks to learn more about identifying and locating records essential to the documentation of Black genealogy.
That transcends all ethnic and racial barriers. People want to know where they came from. People want to know their own personal history.
In addition to the event, a special exhibit has been curated along with a date for open house tours, all to highlight the history of slavery at Ashland.
On Saturday, February 24, from 1 to 4 o'clock, we are doing an open house tour. And what makes that different from our regular Traces tour is that we're not only telling the stories of the enslaved that were here, but also those who were employed here after emancipation.
And while folks are encouraged to educate themselves on the legacy and time spent for the enslaved at the Clay Estate, Jim says this month they want to focus on more.
Our goal is to tell the story of the people, who they were as mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, that it's their humanity that we're after.
In Lexington, Alexa Minton, WKYT.
Speaking of ugly, that's how the forecast is looking tonight. A lot of rain on the way, and then the potential of some snow early in the new work week. Details on the other side of the break.